The secret to organization isn't to keep stacking up totes. It's actually stacking totes in the most organized way possible, so you can actually find things. Today, I'm going to show you how I took this messy area and organized it with 27-gallon storage totes. If you want to have a perfectly organized space that's accessible, then I'm going to show you how to do just that today. I'll give you the free plans, and heck, maybe you can even start selling these to your friends. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So I wanted to mention that there's different totes at different stores. So this is actually a Lowe's Project Source, I believe. There's no sticker on it. This is a Lowe's Project Source tote. These are actually Walmart 27-gallon totes. These are the Hyper Tough. They're actually the same dimensions. I will say that the ones at Home Depot are different. So if you're buying these from Home Depot, this rack measurements will not be the same. But I can show you, they're interchangeable. You can actually take the Lowe's brand 27-gallon storage tote and it fits in here perfectly. So there may be other stores that sell similar sizes. You're gonna have to go check, take a tape measure with you.
I created a model of the Storage Tote Rack with Shaper 3D. This rack will hold up to 8 27-gallon storage totes. If you're getting totes from another source, you will need to measure the width and the height. These are 14.3 inches by 20.6 inches by 30.6 inches. The totes I used are from Walmart or Lowe's. You will need to cut out 16 runners, which are the sides that hold up the totes. These are 30 3/4 inches. You also need 6 of the upright legs, which are what the runner is attached to. These are 62 inches in length. Lastly, you will need to make 4 boards total for the top and the bottom. These are 47 inches long. They will be screwed to the upright legs. This is what your finished rack should look like. I will add caster wheels to mine and a cross brace later. When picking out lumber for this project, I would highly recommend choosing the straightest 2x4s that you can find. This is crucial because warp boards will make your rack wonky. Nobody wants a wonky rack. I then cut out my boards, first with the upright legs, then to the tops, the bottoms, and lastly the runners. I set them off to the side and continued until I had all the lumber cut. Cutting all this out didn't take very long at all. That includes a trip to my scrap pile to find a couple 2x4s that I forgot. You can skip this next step if you have decent looking 2x4s. I'm a little OCD, so I jointed the edges to make them flat. I know, super unnecessary, but I like it. I now transferred the measurements for my runners onto the legs. These measurements will be from the bottom to where the top of the runner will be mounted. I listed the measurements here for you to copy down. Then I separated the 2 upright legs so I could attach the 4 runners to the left side. Starting off, I placed the runner onto the legs to get them spaced correctly. Then I made sure the runner was square using a combination square. I then attached the runners with screws. 3 screws in each runner will help keep the structure from rocking back and forth. Once you have the top and the bottom runners attached, you can attach the other 2 without much trouble. I still checked each one with a combination square because I have been known to mark wrong measurements sometimes. Tell me a time when you marked the wrong measurement in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. This is starting to look like a pretty good ladder. It reminds me of the ladders we would make for our tree forts when we were kids. We only used a little less nails and a little less measuring. Lived on the edge. I miss those days. The middle section will need runners on both sides. You will notice I forgot a step. I only marked the runner's location on one side. Don't be me, mark both sides. If you do this, take one of the remaining legs and use it to transfer the marks with a square onto the middle section. This will give you perfectly aligned runners without guessing. Once I added my forgotten markings, I proceeded to mount the runners onto the legs. See, isn't this fun? So fun that you have to do one more. I'm going to let you do this one on your own. Make me proud. I really didn't want to leave you hanging, but I forgot to hit record on the next section. Don't you hate when you do that? So let's button this thing up. I'm going to add the top and the bottom now. And I'm only going to use a couple screws because this thing won't fit through my basement door. I have a sliding glass door and it's like a 1/4 inch or 3/4 of an inch too big. Alright, it's time to test it out. You will notice it's a little bit wobbly. That's because I haven't put any cross braces on it yet. And I think adding a couple more screws to the tops and the bottoms will make it more stable. But I just couldn't wait to see how it worked and put some totes on it. I will definitely be making more of these for the workshop and other storage areas at my house. I love these. There it is in all its storage glory, completely finished. See, I added these cross braces and I actually added casters to the bottom so I could roll it around my basement.
That's it. Simple, sturdy, and you can roll it where you need it. If you'd like to grab the free plans, check the link in the description or go to handbook.io to find more information on how to build this. And I have more shop builds and project plans coming up, so make sure to subscribe and follow along. I'll see you on the next one. See ya. Could put the treadmill here. Elliptical, maybe a TV on the wall. I don't know, man. It'd be great to have a basement gym. Hey, what are you guys still doing here? I'm working on the next project and you guys are sitting here in my basement. Why don't you check out one of these other videos and heck, maybe you can get some inspiration and do something on your own. I'll see you on the next one. Get out of my basement.